Godzilla Monster of Monsters is an action-packed strategy game where you control Godzilla and Mothra, bashing, destroying everything in the level to get to the end of the board to advance in the next world. The game was developed by Compile and Toho Co. The game was released in 1998 in Japan, and a few months later in 1989 in America. There are 8 planets to traverse through. Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, and Planet X being the final planet. Earth is an introduction to the game. It teaches you the ropes on how to fight and move your character and so on. Earth is the easiest planet of them all. As you progress through each planet, the game gets harder. Planet X being the hardest planet, due to there being a ton of enemies in all of the levels being twice as long, and all of the bosses being at the end of the board in the game. I'm gonna go through all 8 bosses in the game, so skip to this timestamp if you just want to get to the gist of the game. Even though I don't really describe the game in any detail, it's just, oh well, here's all the stuff that happens. First up is Godzilla. Godzilla is a squid kaiju that hops around and smacks you with his tentacles when he wants to. Most of the time he will try to back you up into your corner and stun lock you there for a while before retreating and repeating the cycle again or until time runs out. Each boss fight has roughly 40 seconds each before returning you to the board to either regain health from another level or to fight the monster again. When you return to the boss fight, the boss regains some health. You don't, making the fight last longer than it needs to be. Magira is a robot kaiju that shoots missiles from his head. You can break Magira's AI by crouching and using Godzilla's tail whip, locking Magira into his walking state on his side of the screen. Baron is a kaiju that punches, kicks, and flails his arms around to damage Godzilla. This monster has less weaknesses, as you can't stun lock him anywhere, as he can just keep using his attacks. That was a stupid description. Dora is a smog kaiju that shoots a blue-like liquid from his head that can damage Godzilla and Mothra. Unlike Varen, you can stun lock him until either Hedorah dies or the timer runs out, or you die. Baragon is a kaiju that looks similar to Anguirus, but not entirely. He is on all 4s, so if you're Godzilla, you'll have to use Godzilla's kick, tail whip, or heat beam to deal damage. Baragon can stun lock the player by either pouncing toward the player or keep walking toward the player until the player is in the side of your screen. Gigan is where things get more difficult. Gigan can use their buzzsaw for roughly 5 seconds, damaging the player very quickly. Mechagodzilla appears as a boss as well. He can punch, kick, and uses Space Beam. You can cheat the fight by using Mothra and lighting up Godzilla's neck. As Mechagodzilla's Space Beam, it only shoots in 2 directions when fighting as Mothra, forward and down. Final boss of the game is King Ghidorah. Ghidorah can bite and uses gravity beams to hurt the player. Ghidorah can also stun lock the player while damaging the player, which makes the boss fight difficult. After you complete Planet X, the game ends showing Godzilla and Mothra looking at Earth, and you get a message from the invaders of Planet X. This game has some unused content, as Anguirus or Anguirus and Rodan were presumably going to be playable in the game. In the Famicom release of the game, Anguirus' sprites and code are still in the game, while Rodan's sprites are in the game as well, but his code is much more unfinished. You can't access them without using Game Genie or other means of cheating. There is or was another unused character, Mothra Larva, that was in the game, but due to unknown reasons, she was scrapped along with Anguirus and Rodan, possibly due to the limited amount of data a cartridge can hold. In the international versions of the game, Anguirus and Rodan sprites are nowhere to be found in the code. Anguirus' sprites were repurposed into the new title screen showing Godzilla in front of the Godzilla Monster of Monsters logo. When you play as Anguirus and defeat a boss, the restricted trademark symbol scrolls down while the boss descends. in the international version of the game as well. If you tried to play as Anguillus in the international versions of the game, Anguillus's sprites will be all messed up, along with it using the title screen's sprites. There is some unused music and sounds in the game, but some sounds are yet to be found in the game's code. There are some differences found between the Famicom and NES versions of the game. Godzilla and Mothra move half the spaces in the Famicom version, while the NES version lets the player move twice as far. Godzilla moves only once in the Famicom version, Mothra only moves twice. The title screen was also revamped for the international versions. The title screen for the Famicom version was just a sprite of Godzilla with the original music playing, but in the international versions, the sprites are completely different. Planet X's theme is now the title screen's theme instead of the Japanese title screen theme. This theme is only exclusive to Japan, and it also looks completely unused in the international versions, but you can still listen to the music in the sound test, and by using one of the XY password cheats. What are my thoughts on this game? I really enjoy it for what it is. It's a shame that other playable characters were scrapped. The sequel of the game was scrapped as well, and reworked into Godzilla 2 War of the Monsters, a strategy game where you fight against monsters and play as the military instead of the kaiju. I find Godzilla Monster of Monsters enjoyable. The slowdown of the game isn't too annoying, but it's still a fun and playable game from nearly 40 years ago. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, as you can tell just from the first clip of me choosing which copy of the game to grab. And yes, I did spend $200+ on the copy of Godzilla for PS4. I had a copy before the price skyrocketed, but I gave that one away to Mr. Freaky, another Godzilla fan. If you want to, go check out his channel, Freaky Attractions. I'll leave it in the description. Freaky Attractions also makes great horse stories if you're into that. I know this review is short and bland, but I'm not really good at writing scripts. I just want to get to the point, explain how the game works, and be done with it. I'm that type of person. I'm not very good at talking, or stage fright as people call it. So if you guys want to see another okay review, just let me know. I know this script wasn't the best, but I tried to an extent. I did write this like 6 days ago, on the 16th of February, so yeah, I'm recording it on the 22nd of February, so that tells you how much procrastination I've been doing. That, and I haven't been really wanting to because it embarrasses me that I kind of talk to myself the entire time. Although I do love this game, along with any other Godzilla game. I haven't really played any other Godzilla games, just this Godzilla game and the somewhat newer Godzilla games like the PS3 and 4 version, along with Super Godzilla for the SNES. But who knows, maybe I'll make another review in the future if you guys want to see that. No promises though, but please leave a like and comment and subscribe. It'd help me out. I would love to make this a full-time job, you know. Take care. Till next time.